So, with that, we have all the orbs. So I'm assuming now what the game expects me to do is to go back to camp here, tell the Duke we have succeeded in our mission of obtaining all the orbs, and then I guess we're gonna head to Silver's place to kick his ass? Ooh, wow, we have a lot more people than last time.
I've had reports of Silver's presence in Metalon. He's reputed to have seized the palace to imprison the women. We should hurry.
Are you ready to proceed to... Oh, I guess we just leave right away. Sure.
David, I've spoken to several of the rebels, and William knows of all our plans. The longer we wait, the more time Silver has to prepare. We must confront him now.
Yes, but how can we get to Metalon? It's completely isolated.
Which makes it a good place for him to be.
I'm loath to say this, but I don't know.
Then why did you say, are you ready to leave?
And if we attempt passage by boat, the ship will either be smashed on the rocks or crushed by the sea serpents protecting its shores.
Oh, dude, sea serpents protecting its... That sounds badass. I would actually like to see that.
Burn the witch before she kills us all!
Oh no, she's gonna help us because she hates her father.
Stay calm. Glass, speak your mind and be assured no one will raise their sword to you.
I know of your stalemate concerning Metalon, and I can transport a small number of rebels inside its perimeters. But they'll have to make the journey to the palace on foot.
How many rebels can you take?
The magic my father uses to defend Metalon is powerful. Even with my own powers, I can only teleport 3.
Well, we're in luck, because that's exactly the size of my party.
3? That'd be suicide.
I'll go.
Of course you
And
will.
I'll take any other 2 willing to join me.
Just like the rest of the game.
We'd all join you.
My father's power is enhanced by the blood that courses through the underground canals of Metalon. Drain even a small amount of this blood, and Silver will weaken. Take my glaive, it may help.
Thank you. I know you've risked your life to help us. We won't let you down.
Good. Now choose your companions quickly. Time is running out.
I'm gonna go ahead and stick with the group we have.
Good luck.
I'm happy with that. Glaive. Wow, this place is constructed entirely out of riveted sheets of steel, I guess. Oh my god, everyone has so much health now. Oh, and these guys are making the, stock camel sounds used for enemies dying in Doom. Yep, those are the Doom sounds. Fantastic. Which, yeah, as I understand it, are camels. Well, I guess they've decided this does have to be really arduous because it is the end of the game, but my god, there's a lot of these fuckers. I can't unhear the Doom zombies there. And there's a sparking effect that just hasn't gone away on the side of the screen. I think that's an error. I do like the design of this platform. I don't know why it's belching out smoke, other than it just looks kind of sinister and evil. But it does look cool. It gives some motion to the screen too, which is nice because with these completely static backgrounds, you gotta do what you can to give them some movement. So this game's done a pretty good job of like ones having at least running water or like smoke here or something moving on screen because, yeah, the backgrounds are otherwise pretty static. Wow, would it kill the guy to put some windows in here? Why is the game even bothering to send bats after me at this point? Oh dear God, there's more? Oh, now I just want to play Doom. Oh no, level 1 heal does like nothing now. Is this a trap? No. Oh good, magic. Thank fuck. Get Kagan stocked back up. Let's try light again. Oh yeah, that does a lot of damage. Takes an enormous amount of magic, though. Yeah, see, I only cast it a couple times, and I can't do it again. So, even Kagan having a fair bit of MP, with full magic, I only get like 3 or 4 light spells. Time magic leveled up to level 2. Tired of this fucking archer. He doesn't do much damage, but he's fucking annoying. Oh yeah, this final area is gonna be a slog, man. And they're still giving me apples. They do 20 HP and I have 3,000. Why are you giving me apples? The music here feels a little bit goofy, I'm not gonna lie. It's too plinky-plonky to be, like, sinister and dark. Alright, let's see what Time Magic 2 does. Yeah, I think it is the same effect, just stronger. I'm faster. Now I'm actually quite decently fast, but I still feel like that's not really worth the cast. Oh, although the higher attack rate could make a hell of a difference. Oh, actually, yeah, I can attack crazy fast this way. I take it back, that probably is worth it. In fact, I'm gonna do it as David. Cast it on yourself. Back to the swords. Although the enemy can still magically dodge attacks. Okay, yeah, I admit it. Time 2 is worth it. And I'm noticing a pattern here, which is basically every screen, I clear it, and then spend a bunch of time digging around healing. So it does look like the final area of this is just going to be a non-stop meat grinder, where every screen is just shitloads of enemies. It's the bad guy's stronghold. Of course, it's just going to be a gauntlet of endless enemies, but we're not even getting branching paths yet. It is just meat grinder of tons of enemies, which, although there's lots of them and they all have shitloads of health, they're not even actually doing that much damage. We're only getting down barely to the orange bar, and then we have 2 more past that, so I'm not even getting close to getting killed, but I'm still losing enough health that the healing process takes a while. But it is kind of surreal to see, like, gigantic pools of blood in this guy's place. I mean, I know he's an evil prick, but how many people would it take to have that much blood? Glass implied that there's, like, underneath, there's, like, entire rivers of blood. Like, oh my god, look at that. There's blood everywhere. How many people has this guy been harvesting? There's not that much blood in a person. Like, look at that, there's a whole river underneath us. Visually cool, but I don't think there's that much blood in the entire kingdom.
Let's hope it stays that way.
How didn't he see us? Oh, and then they just come back anyway, which makes that whole sequence really pointless. Oh, and the stretched perspective here actually makes it hard to judge how close I am to the enemies. I don't know why this room is fucked up, though. Does he just not do maintenance on his own stronghold? Like, the floor tiles are coming loose, the railing is falling off of this hell gazebo. Ugh. Disembodied faces are a little bit gross. I could do without that. Oh fuck, what is that? Anelectus. Oh, by the way, I never checked where the glaive is. Oh, it's a ranged weapon. Oh my god, it's like the glaive from Krull. Or so I've heard. I've never actually seen Krull. Anelectus. What the fuck is an Anelectus? And is this a switch? I can't use it, because the hand is grayed out. Surely that's there for a reason, right? Why can't I use it?
We should be prepared for the worst. If Silver and Apocalypse have sealed their alliance, we could be too late.
We'd already know if they had. The repercussions would be catastrophic.
Maybe even apocalyptic.
Silver. Vengeance will be ours.
Yeah, that just doesn't work with his weak-ass, high-pitched voice. This screen looks really cool, but I actually have a hard time telling what I'm looking at. What are all these structures? Are those, like, buildings down? Like, how wide a shot is this? Like, is the stuff in the background there far enough away that each of those is like a little house or structure, or I'm not even sure. I can't parse really what I'm looking at. These things dangling from chains are cool, but I don't know what they are. But at least they're moving. At least the foreground ones are. So again, we have a little bit of motion to offset the fact that the background is completely static. So we have another pretty cool looking location. Shame they waited the whole game to have some weird looking locations, like the geegery looking place, and now here. Looks like there's only one way off this screen. Nice contrast on this screen too. Nice deep blacks and these hard deep reds. It's a punchy looking screen. This game's actually been fairly low contrast overall. So this is nice to see. Oh. Oh, does the glaive just fly around this screen on its own? Oh, it does. Oh, you just throw it once and it bounces enemy to enemy. Oh, that's fantastic. And it does appear to have infinite ammo, because that thing is not counting down. See, it's cool that it's a throw and forget. It just seeks out targets on its own. But, at the same time, its overall DPS is fairly low, because it doesn't hit very quickly, compared to just mashing the A button. Oh, but I kind of like it. I'm actually going to switch to David and let the AI throw that thing around. Since it's self-targeting, I don't really need to worry about how inefficient the AI is at attacking enemies. And since it attacks at a fixed rate, I also don't need to worry about the fact that they don't attack very quickly. Because it'll be attacking the same speed as if I had used it, because it's just automatic. Except there are still periods where he just stands there doing nothing. Oh man, I love how contrasty it is here. I still don't know what any of this stuff I'm looking at is or does, but I can let that slide if it at least looks cool, and it does. There's so much just random. There's such a clusterfuck of polygons on screen. I don't even really know what I'm doing other than just mashing attack. This has turned into an impressively chaotic meat grinder. Which I'm okay with. It's actually kind of fun in a way. You know, actually, speaking of Chaos Potion, I just picked one up. I should try one of those just to see what it does. I'm assuming it frenzies the enemies so that they attack their allies, but I could be wrong about that. But yeah, this music's just a little bit too goofy. Like, if you took out the plinky-plonky instrument, it would be fine. Because the underlying strings and stuff are nice and sinister sounding, but then you get that Grant Kirkhope-y plonkiness in there, and it just doesn't quite work. Chaos Potion. It doesn't appear to have done anything at all. Oh no, he is attacking his ally. Okay. So that is exactly what it does. This is actually pretty fun. We're not dicking around here. It's like non-stop combat. We haven't had any branching paths. Oh, actually, now that I say that, we do. We have our first branching path. But it hasn't been this... Or, well, I guess I can't get over there because this is a gap, not a shadow. So that door can't be reached, meaning it must be a loop around from somewhere else. We're not digging around with branching paths and me going, ah, shit, which way do I go? We're just going screen to screen and instantly there's a bunch of enemies. So it's turned into a pretty straightforward hack and slash, which I'm okay with. It's nuanceless, of course, which it has been all along, but at least the game's moving along at a pretty good pace here. This isn't like the long stretches of me wandering around rain when it's mostly cleared, so there isn't really anything happening. Okay, so this cauldron-y looking thing up here is usable, and it has the little pyramid thing. What was that called? Anelectus. Is that a real word? Let me look that up. No, it just autocorrects to the Anelects. Okay. That is apparently not a real word. Or it's obscure enough that Google just autocorrects it anyway. And I have no idea what it is or why we're sticking it in this cauldron. It extinguished the flame and opened a portal. How did we know that was what it would do? I don't even know what an Anelectus is. It just fell from the sky when we cleared a screen and we picked it up. It's just a little pyramid thing. How did I know that my objective was to stick it in a cauldron and that doing so would open a portal? That's such a weird thing to do. I mean, I knew because the icon appeared, but like I'm talking about the characters in universe. How did Vivian know that that would even work? I just realized there was no net difference for having the Anelectus because we got it for free. It just fell from the sky when we cleared that screen, meaning all we did was clear the screen, which is what I would have done anyway. So the cost for doing it was literally zero because we didn't have to go out of our way or do anything. It's something we would have done in the first place. And then, using it cost nothing and wasn't difficult. It wasn't a puzzle or a thing we had to solve. I just clicked a thing on a thing, and it worked. Also, I don't know why there's a creature in a tube there, but it looked cool, I guess. And my god, there's a lot of blood down here. Where did this come from? Oh my god. There's a fucking ocean of blood down there. Where do you get that much? Even if you sucked everyone in the entire world dry of every last drop of blood, you would not have that much. And then, of course, there'd be no one left. So clearly he hasn't done that, because there are people still alive. Is this synthetic blood that he's created through magical means? Okay, so I guess we can use the... Oh my god, even more blood. Which is pouring nowhere. I mean, it looks kind of good pouring out, but then when you look where it's going, it's just ceasing to exist. It's not like running down the side, that metal sheet. It's just vanishing. And see, we used the Anelectus on that, so I guess we're going to use it more than once. I thought we were done the first time, but again, I could have just walked up and activated whatever that thing was anyway. And for that matter, what did I just do? I mean, I used the Anelectus, which I don't know what it is, on a thingy that I don't know what it is, and it opened a gate so that more blood is pouring in. Or am I venting blood out? Is that outdoors? And so by... Oh yeah, this room's now empty.
It's gone. This is not good.
Oh no, that means we're gonna have to fight it. Okay, I guess I was draining blood from the castle. The problem is, it looked like we drained the blood into a blood source. If that was like some cavern outside that was empty, I would understand that we were draining blood. It looked like we were actually adding more blood to the source because it was draining into a spot that already had blood. Very strange. I know Glass said if you remove some of the blood, you'll reduce his power, but... And I guess we teleported somewhere different? Okay. I didn't expect that portal to go somewhere else. Alright, you, throw the fucking glaive. I'm gonna go ahead and use Armageddon, because why not? Oh wait, did that just heal him? I think that said plus 500. Well, that sucks. So, he just charges in straight lines, and then hits his head and is briefly stunned. Okay. Well, I know how this fight's gonna go then. Oh shit, yeah. Of course lightning stuns for him the way it does for me. Oh fuck. Okay, I'm gonna have Vivian, you equip heal. Heal David. Damn it. Honestly, I could cheese this whole fight by just kiting him around while Kagan throws the glaive. It would be very slow, because it's not doing that much damage, but it would be a pretty safe tactic. This glaive is awesome. I was not expecting a ranged weapon in this game to be awesome, because all of the others have been largely underwhelming. Glorious. How much health do I have now? Ooh, that's a big jump. I think I had 32 before, so... But I have a feeling we're getting pretty close to the end here. And I guess because we leveled, the glaive seems to be doing even more damage. Are we there yet? Oh, the gate's just gonna let us in? Oh, it's like Silver wants us to kick his ass. It's mummies embedded into the wall? Are those painted on, or are those actual mummies embedded on the wall? That's very strange. Oh god, these guys use lots of special attacks. Although they weren't really doing much damage. Yet another enemy that makes incredibly annoying noises when you hit it. Made even more annoying than they would be already by the fact that they're so low quality. Okay, that fucker at the back probably... Either he summons more, or he's ranged. Either way, I want him dead first. And of course he teleports. Fuck it, Armageddon. Well, it's not an insta-kill, sadly. Alright, screen cleared. Bunch of fucking healing. We've reduced down to a pretty simple core gameplay loop here, but the good news is it is actually kind of fun. Doesn't need to go on all day, but this meat grinder is fun for now. Ooh, he just hit his friendly. Oh, that was nice. His Earth 2 area effect just hit the ceiling, and so it didn't even come back down. I didn't know that was possible, actually. I would be mad if that happened to my spell, but I'm glad it happened to him. And Kagan's not actually throwing the glaive, because I guess he's too busy dodging. It's like if they're at short range, he just gives up, which is incredibly annoying. Because there's no reason he can't just throw it at short range. And I guess Vivian is poisoned? She's taking damage over time. That didn't heal her, that didn't give her any HP, but it made a different sound effect, so that must have removed the poison. And then the next one heals her. Okay. So yeah, the life magic does double as an antidote. Or well, I guess it's not poison, it's acid, right? There is no poison magic. Man, we have so much health now that even heal 2 isn't really doing much. We have Time Magic 3. Which makes us fantastically fast. Oh my god, I could punch so fast. So that requires a key we don't have. That was the half moon. Although it does appear to be a dead end. Is this thing hostile? It has blood-soaked paws, so I don't trust it. Oh my god, yeah, it's hostile. And unsurprisingly, it's another enemy that makes incredibly annoying noises. Wow, not only were those really ugly sound effects, they were like 3 times louder than any other sound. That was awful. Wedge potions, including ones I can't carry. Fucking bombs. You really think I care about bombs at this point? Ooh, a diamond shield. One would hope that's unbreakable. Defense 10,000. Well, versus the next best having 1,600, that's probably close enough to unbreakable, but I think that means it's not actually unbreakable. Actually, I should have checked. I'm gonna go back in and check if the blood fountain in here was interactable. Actually, what is this game rated? That's an awful lot of blood. Yeah, this game's rated T. I'm looking at the case right here. It's rated T for animated violence. I guess they forgot to mention the part where there's like literal rivers of blood in the final area. Who are you? Do I need to shank you in the face?
I see my execution party have arrived. It didn't take Fuge long to become bored with his favorite prisoner.
Who are you and why do you think I'm here to execute you?
Fuge is dead, and you can rest assured, Silver is our target.
Who are you?
As you can see, I am a man of great faith, and I believe in the strength of good over evil. But Silver's power is too potent. He cannot be killed.
We have 8 mystical orbs. They will help us to combat his magic.
Then you must find the origin of his power.
Isn't that the blood?
That Silver is just a mortal man. The blood that courses beneath Metalon increases his strength. But I'm afraid no one knows the core source of his power.
Is it the fact that he's a fucking sorcerer, perhaps?
We'll find it.
Come on, we have to hurry. Silver will be expecting us, and will no doubt speed up his wedding to avoid uninvited guests.
I'm afraid you're badly mistaken. Silver has no intention of marrying any of the women. They were taken for sacrifice.
I thought we knew that.
This will appease Apocalypse, and Silver will finally attain the ultimate power of darkness.
I thought we knew about his pact with Apocalypse. In fact, David referenced it earlier.
No! I'm sorry, but we have to go.
Also, who are you? Whoa, look at the distortion on us. This must be a really wide screen. Oh, it is, yeah. Alright, let's go to David. Do time 3. Oh, if I can actually cast it. There we go. Okay. Switch back to the swords. No, the swords. I clicked it. Holy crap, the speed I can attack is insane. But ultimately, that just increases the speed at which the horrendously annoying sound effects happen. Oh my god, he's making stock monkey noises now. I don't think that was supposed to be comical, but it was. Oh god, this healing routine is getting old. Okay, moving on. Sinister machinery noises, it sounds like. Slots for 2 things we don't have. What are these? Do I just take them out? Or do I put in 2 new? Oh, we just roundhouse kick them. And how did they know to do that? And it summoned enemies. What exactly was the function of what we just did? And he's just doing AoE, so... I would try to just hold back and let Kagan take care of him with the Glaive, but both of my melee guys are just going to keep running towards him, so I'm just going to awkwardly switch between them to try to keep them from moving towards him. There we go. I really wish there was a command to tell your party to just stay where they are. So the other ones we turned around so they're not lit, these ones we turned around so they're lit. Oh, and they spawned items instead of enemies. Except... what is happening now? I can't control. Well, that was fucking cool. Again, I don't really know what it is, but that was a really visually interesting way of opening a door. Strange none of the characters had anything to say about the fact that that was a very strange way of opening a door. I'm getting dangerously close to just muting the game, though. Okay, screw it. I'm just gonna shock this guy. Which, as David, doesn't really do enough to be worth it. Vivian appears to be getting her ass kicked. No, she's good. Alright. Oh, I wish the screen scrolled a little faster. See, that is one of the things that makes rooms this size annoying, is if I switch to Vivian, it takes just... it very slowly scrolls to the person you've selected. I do wish it happened, like, basically immediately. Because if the other person, if I'm switching to the other character because they're getting attacked, I want to be visually over there as soon as possible. So I need the job to get done. I don't need it to look smooth. This sound is so bad. Actually, here's a good time to check. Can I open chests? Oh, you can open chests in combat. I'm actually surprised by that. Nice dodge, Kagan. That's so weird. That's quite a few times now I've clicked on a thing in the menu and it hasn't actually equipped. It's like there, I tried to switch the sword and it didn't work the first time. I have no idea why. And the shield didn't equip. Also, as you can see, the shield's durability is dropping a little. So it is, in fact, not invincible. Kagan, just throw the glaive. There. And he's... okay, combat on these giant screens is pissing me the fuck off. I can't see the whole thing, which would be fine if the scrolling wasn't so fucking slow. Or if the AI with the ranged weapon would actually just use it properly, which he only is about half the time. I've been having fun so far in this area, but this screen sucks. It's too big. I like the giant machinery here. They have like this crankshaft, but it has to be an evil-looking crankshaft. It can't just be a crankshaft. It has to have wicked spikes on it, too, to really drive home the fact that Silver is evil. That's such a nice touch of design, that thing has pointless spikes on it. There's no way those spikes serve any function, but it does make it look more evil. It's a nice touch. I was hoping for a chronicler on that screen, since it was really long. Got another really good-looking screen. Now, if only this game sounded as good as it looks. Also, this is a fairly long area in terms of just number of screens. So I suppose it's reasonably epic for the final confrontation, which makes sense. It's not like we're just 3 rooms in and oh no, there's Silver. Except he appears to put up some sort of barrier. Kagan, you want to actually do something other than just jump around like an idiot? If you solved that problem, if you made the party members less obnoxiously useless, I would be enjoying this game a lot more than I am, which is not to say I'm not enjoying it. But it's what's keeping this from being truly great. I'm holding A. I'm holding A. Why is it not working? Oh, because it didn't equip. Because that keeps happening for some reason. Oh, and look at that. It just consumed my Armageddon charge, and yet he didn't actually do it. Well, that's some supreme bullshit right there. Clearly there's a health potion on the ground, so just do that. It's a chaos potion. I'm still not going to bother with those.
Jennifer!
I forgot you existed because you've never been mentioned in the entire game. In fact, that makes me realize it would be easier to give a fuck about Jennifer if throughout the game, like along the way, we had been cutting to where she is. Like let's say we clear an area as David. Why not between chapters sort of cut to Jennifer in her cell or whatever, and we get to see what she's thinking, see how she feels, see what's happening to her. Sort of like in Paper Mario. In Paper Mario, you play as Mario, and of course, Princess Peach has been kidnapped, because she always is. But they actually give Peach some character, because between chapters, we cut to her in Bowser's castle, and you actually get to play as her for a while, and we have these between chapter interludes, and it actually gives her a personality and dialogue, and also it gives her agency in the story, because that's typically how you learn where to go next in game, is when you play as Princess Peach, you kind of sneak out of your room and you sneak through the castle to try to find hints for where the next place Mario needs to go is. And then that information gets relayed to Mario, and it's how he learns where to go. So not only do we get some actual character from her, but she has input on the plot as well. She has actual agency to some degree, despite the fact that she's captured. They managed to do a really good job with that. And here, Jennifer does literally nothing. She exists solely as a human MacGuffin. She's just the thing that's motivating us to go on our journey or whatever, but she has no character, and we have not thought about her or talked about her or heard from her since the very beginning of the game. It just seems like a total waste.
She can't hear you. I've spared you the annoyance of an emotional reunion.
Oh, thank God. I didn't want an emotional reunion anyway.
But don't worry. I won't deny you your right to watch them die.
And the rest of the women? Are they still alive?
Probably not. Where do you think all this blood came from?
For now...
Oh, really?
They're waiting patiently elsewhere.
Why?
I just couldn't deny...
Why are these 3 more important?
The pleasure of killing these 3 personally.
This voice actor is great.
Lord, you have the rebels as I promised you would. So please, grant me leave and tell me where I'll find Camille.
Oh my God, he betrayed us in hopes that he would save Camille? That's incredibly stupid, because do you really think Silver will actually give you that? I'm gonna guess the next line of dialogue is him saying, "Fool, Did you really think I would, you know, like, let's find out.
Silver, please, I beg you, tell me where I'll find my wife.
Surely you will uphold your end of the bargain. You seem like such a trustworthy guy.
No.
Oh. Wow, I'm shocked.
I don't think I will.
Oh my god! How could I have known Silver wouldn't keep his word?
But, Lord, we had an agreement. You gave me your word.
But the evil bastard's word isn't worth anything?
What value has an oath given to a spineless nothing?
Ooh.
Camille will be sacrificed along with the others.
William, you are a fucking imbecile.
No!
And he died like a bitch, which, you know, he deserved to, frankly, for betraying us all for the dumbest reason ever. Wait, weren't you gonna kill the women? You just teleported them away instead? Okay, well, I guess that works out for me, but I don't know why you did that. Okay. How is this fight gonna go? How fucked am I? Well, it was nice of him to clear the arena, so now I have total freedom of movement. Ooh, okay. The Glaive auto-targets the, Eldritch Disco Ball. Cheesy clank sound. Fantastic. Ooh, okay. Apocalypse does not seem to do much to him. It looked like it did 0, but then it looked like it actually did some, so I'm not sure. So, was that enemy ancillary? Oh, I can throw this at Silver. Oh, except it doesn't actually go to him. Okay. Well then maybe I have to cast magic at him? I mean, the whole point of the game was to gather the orbs. So maybe just no physical attacks work? Let's try fire too. No, he just dodges it. So can I attack the disco ball with magic? No, it doesn't do anything. I'll try a different spell, I guess. How about ice, because it's on fire? Nope, that does nothing. Well, let me heal. I don't know why that didn't work. That's incredibly annoying. So I just wasted Armageddon because I held A to heal myself, and it didn't equip. Why am I having to do this multiple times? Do you see how many times I'm clicking this? There. But it must involve magic, because I'm guessing the purpose of this giant monster that keeps spawning back in, I'm assuming his function is to drop magic recharging things, because he's dropped them every single time, which, like, is weird because these things are actually very rare in the game. I guess I'll just try each spell on the disco ball and see what happens. Oh, fire hurts it. Why does fire hurt it when other stuff doesn't? Okay. And apparently that's hurting Silver himself, because it's draining his health bar. It's weird Silver's not trying to hurt me, though. I mean, I realize he summoned this giant monster that actually isn't that much of a threat. He hits really hard, but he's so slow it's easy to dodge him. But, I mean, look at Silver down there in the bottom left. He's just standing there, doing jack shit. Oh, I see. It's gonna cycle through the elements. Oh, God, this is gonna take all day. Oh yeah, so I guess I just hit it with the element that it's colored. You'd think I would actually do the opposite. But, sure, I can do this. Vivian, you idiot. Okay, David. Recharge. Kagan, you switch to healing. Let's go to healing 3. Let's heal Vivian. Glorious. Back to the glaive. Throw it at the thingy. David can grab more orbs because there's a whole bunch of them. Well, here's the weird thing. This is not challenging in the slightest, but it is going to take a really, really long time. Because we're going to have to go through every orb. I guess not every orb, because 2 of them apply to me, not enemies. Or do I actually cast life on it? Can I even do that? Hey, Kagan, you want to attack this thing? Fine, I'll do it. How do I target it? Because it doesn't put a hand over it. Alright, that's me, that's Kagan, that's Vivian. Next click. Oh yeah, I am actually supposed to heal the orb, which for some reason hurts it. Luckily much faster than the other orbs. So now it's lightning. No, don't punch him, you imbecile. Throw the glaive. And now David's shooting the wrong things. Fucking genius. Alright, we're out of magic, so I gotta fuck this guy. Recharge. No, not Silver. Oh, I hate the targeting in this game so much. Kagan, you fool. Alright, Vivian can just have a health potion. I have so many of them, I'm not worried about it. Except I'm gonna have to do it again, because for some reason she didn't actually do it. That's so weird. I have not had that problem the whole game. It's not like the entire game I've been needing to do menu inputs more than once. It seems like it's only been since about the halfway point. Okay, so now we do Earth. Glorious. Something that actually makes this weirdly easier than it should be is that this guy seems to just pick one character to attack. Oh, fuck, not Silver. He seems to get fixated on one character rather than just sort of attack everyone randomly. Which makes him really easy to kite around because he ignores the one attacking him if you just run around the one he's focused on. And he just leaves the other ones alone. He doesn't rotate through targets to prevent you from doing that, which frankly he should. Stop it! Okay, this has to fucking stop. I want him not to cast spells when I switch away from... See, when I switch to Kagan, I have to switch to Kagan to throw the glaive, because Kagan will not throw the glaive on his own until I've done it the first time. But as soon as I do that, David then wastes a whole bunch of magic casting spells on the monster, which I don't want him to do. It's just... Again, the only challenge here is the party AI being really stupid. So I'm going to switch his spellcast to 1, which means he'll only waste 1 spell instead of endlessly. Which is still more than I'd want him to do, but... And of course, Vivian's just standing there doing nothing. I'd have to switch to her to initiate her doing combat, but at that point, David will just waste a spell. This is incredibly uneventful for an epic final boss. I don't get it. Okay. That taken care of. That's Silver, me, Vivian, Kagan. So the next click must be the ball. Indeed. And like healing, it takes shit tons from this, so I don't have to do this too many times, which is very merciful. And now the big one is going to be light, because unfortunately light is extremely expensive to cast. Oh yeah, this is going to take a while. One more hit. And that guy just drops dead. Fantastic. So is that Silver defeated, or does he now get on the arena and we fight him personally? Level up? Isn't it the end of the game? That was a weirdly trivial boss fight. I mean, it was long and drawn out, but it wasn't difficult.
You must have salivated over
Oh my god, he sounds so good.
for a long time. Go on then. Finish it.
Alright, take your dual-wielded knightly swords and shove both of them deep into his rectum. That's the best way to do it.
No.
Wait, what?
What? David, you have to kill him.
Yeah, fucking kill him.
Without his power, he's already dead.
Bullshit, who
To
cares?
endure the rest of his life as a helpless old man.
Okay, if that's true, I guess that is better than killing him. Because it's a long torment instead of quick. But are we sure he has lost his powers? Like, how do you know for sure that he is now no longer powerful, no longer a threat in any way? Or is Glaskus gonna come in and murder him? Oh, no. Who's this?
Passion is admirable, but you underestimate him. It was his depravity that strangled his wife, and his dark appetite that led him to apocalypse.
Yeah, that was all described in the intro.
Evil It just made it easier.
Well,
Now,
yeah,
step aside.
he's still an evil fuck. Also, it's weird Nemesis just appeared when we have never seen Nemesis. The only reason we know Nemesis existed is he was mentioned in voiceover in the opening video.
David, step aside.
David's not in the way. You have a clear shot at Silver. Just chop his head off. Kill him. Murder him. Cut him into small chunkules. That was actually somewhat anticlimactic. I mean, I like the lightning bolt, so it wasn't just a cheesy punch sound, but it wasn't even a unique animation. He just did the, what was that, Reaper, I think? He should have, like, stabbed him upward, like in this kind of this low upward swing, and impaled Silver on it, then held his sword vertically above himself with Silver's impaled body dangling from it, and then, like, flung it off the edge of the throne room or something. Not just the Reaper special move, punch sound effect, and then his body despawns.
David? Silver told me you'd been killed.
Well, that's because Silver was a lying prick.
And leave you? Never.
Oh, the rest of the women. We have to find them.
Oh, I don't give a shit about the rest of the women. I only did all of this to save you, even though I know nothing about you.
They've been restrained and held in the recess chambers of the palace.
I'm amazed he didn't kill them.
How do you know all this? Who are you?
I am Silver's nemesis.
Hence the very literal name.
Silver believed I was dead. This knowledge made him feel invulnerable, and he became complacent. So, I maintained a low profile.
What, were you the chronicler all along or something? That would be fucking weird.
Someone must pay for Silver's death.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, I didn't think Apocalypse was gonna enter this picture, but that would explain why the Silver fight was weirdly easy, and, more importantly, why we leveled up.
David, we have to merge. It's our only chance.
How is that possible? Do we just squish our bodies together and become more powerful? What are you talking about?
Okay, but do it quickly.
What does that mean, merge? And David ran over there like he knows what's happening, but I don't. Oh, we do just squish our bodies together and become more powerful. I was joking. So I guess I'm badass now?
Jennifer, I love you.
Also, my allies left, so I guess I have to do this fight solo. It means I won't have to deal with maneuvering them around. Ooh, and I get to save. I'm gonna make a new save. And we shall call it Apocalypse. Glorious. I didn't realize Apocalypse was gonna show up, because I didn't realize Silver had finished his pact with him. I thought the ticking clock element was about him finishing his pact with Apocalypse, meaning I figured that hadn't happened yet. This background looks amazing, though. That's a proper hellscape right there. Oh, those craggy, sharp spires in the background. Lake of blood.
I'll ease your torment and end it quickly.
Again, David's voice just isn't nearly cool enough for a line like that. Well, I hear wings flapping, which means he's apparently airborne. Which should mean I have no chance of fighting him because David is incompetent at ranged. So this guy could just do strafing runs and I would be largely defenseless, but I have a feeling he's inexplicably going to choose to land.
Your bravado is pathetic. I am your worst nightmare.
I love the kind of choppy tremolo processing on his voice. That's good. He sounds pretty good. I cannot open the menu, meaning I cannot equip magic. So, or anything else for that matter. Which also means I cannot take potions. So, it is apparently impossible to heal. Oh, look what I said about him inexplicably landing. He is in fact doing that. I would be unable to defeat him if he just remained in the air, but... Oh, God. But apparently he is too stupid to do that. Oh, crap. So I'm mostly just gonna dodge. I'm gonna mash the dodge button here. Oh, fuck. Now I'm gonna run around. Okay, well at least he has a bit of a range of attacks. It's not just he lands and tries to punch me. but it's a shame I stocked up on potions and then can't even use them here. Unfortunately, the game is getting kind of weirdly loud here. And what should be epic music for our final confrontation is barely audible. Is my shield invincible? I guess I'll do that instead of dodging. Alright, then we do this. I think we have seen his full loop now. So he's gonna go over there and throw some fireballs. Then the showers of molten rock will come out of the fissures. Yeah, okay. I think we have seen his whole loop. And then we just trade blows. Stab, block, stab, block, stab. Oh, wait, move. Block, stab, block, stab, block, stab. Yeah, not the most exciting final boss ever. As long as you keep moving and time your blocks, it's not that big a deal. Frankly, I would have expected him to be physically larger, too. It'd be cool if when we merged with Nemesis, we grew wings like Apocalypse had, and this fight instead took place in the air. Oh, that would be awesome. The background looks fucking amazing, though. I love the background here. Unfortunately, the best part of it is the stuff that's vertically far enough on the screen that I'm not really seeing it. Actually, yeah, I was doing the thrust because it does more damage, but I think my DPS is better actually just doing the regular A, because I can do it faster. This doesn't seem to be working for you, Apocalypse. Maybe you should try some new attacks, or mixing up your tactics at all. Oh god, no. Is there any technique to dodging these, or is it just random? I don't know if they're like arcing the direction I'm running, meaning I should change direction, or if it is just random. I'm assuming it's just random, but that's really the only attack that has any chance of hitting me, because it is less predictable than... I mean, him here, all of his attacks are so heavily telegraphed that I have plenty of time to hit the block button. We're down to his last health bar. Oops. Accidentally dodged instead of blocking there. They are the same button. Oh, fuck. One more cycle, I think. Okay, come on. Let's finish you off. I'll just beat you to death and we can all go home. Come on. Just die for me. Please. I'm tired of doing this. There. Die, monster. You don't belong in this world. Ooh. I think he was just gonna flop over. Does he have a unique death animation? Or is he gonna magically heal and we have to do it all again? Am I supposed to hit these back at him? Oh! I just bounce him back with my shield. I didn't even know that happened. Wow! Okay, at least his death was pretty epic. I don't know why he was dumb enough to throw projectiles that could be returned to him, especially... I mean, I didn't know that was even possible. Maybe he didn't either. I did not know you could deflect things with your shield. Maybe that's unique to this shield. It's not something I could have done the whole game, but sure. Well, that background looked fucking amazing, and that fight was okay, but relatively anticlimactic. It's strange we just punched each other on the ground. It would have been cooler, like, as a crazy aerial thing, like if I sprouted angel wings and he had his evil bat wings and we were soaring through the air and attacking each other. Instead, he just lands for no reason and we hit each other.
Yes. Come on, we have to leave.
Yes, let's talk later. The rumbling means this place is probably collapsing.
What's happening?
The place is collapsing. Shut the fuck up and run. Run! Wow, that scene took 3 times longer than it should have. Why are we still standing here? You had to run over to then run... Why? Oh, that was so awkwardly executed. Everybody should have just run. Oh, let's stop and stand here. Oh, and then run some more. Okay. It's not like our lives are in danger or anything. Guys? Yeah, get moving. Why are you standing there? Move your asses! This is so awkward. Once again, the music is weirdly quiet. I can barely hear the music. And the music, at the volume settings I have, has actually mostly been louder than the sound effects. So, really inconsistent mixing. Because that rumble is incredibly loud, but I can barely hear the music. Which, again, some tense music here would really go a long way, but I can't hear it well enough to tell if it is successfully tense. And I guess we're gonna see them crossing every single screen. Where did Kagan go? Oh, there he is. Ooh, epic flip there. That was completely unnecessary because you could have just gone around that route, but I'm impressed, David. It's not a thing I've seen him do anywhere else in the game. Kagan's the one that does the flips. We are going to see every single screen, aren't we? I'm just going to have to load each one of them, so there's going to be an awkward black screen each time. Yep, there it is. I don't have to see every single screen, to be honest. I can trust that the place is collapsing and we're running. I've seen, what, 6 screens now of the place collapsing and us running? Oh, and everybody vanished. Is there going to be some sort of twist here at the end? Oh no, we're getting teleported too. Oh. It'd be kind of exciting if there was some epic twist that we weren't actually done and our friends were apparitions the whole time. And we haven't even fought Silver yet because it was all in our mind. Or it was all an illusion caused by Silver's evil magic. But no, I guess we just got teleported somehow? And that tower looks amazingly like the Eye of Sauron in Lord of the Rings, except this game came out before that movie. Ooh, and this scene is unbelievably loud. That clipped horribly. At least I can hear the music now. I like how letterboxed this is. We have a nice wide aspect ratio, which does make this look more cinematic. Oh, that is a weird, chubby, short ship. Like, it's front to back, really short, which makes it look kind of chonky and cute. That's so strange. So was it glass that teleported us?
What happened? How did you manage to teleport so many people off the island?
Once Silver's power diminished, he could no longer protect the island from mine.
Oh.
I'll never forget this day.
You can tell by my acting that I'm amazed.
And David, thank you.
You saved the world and stuff, but I'm not gonna emote about it.
The glory belongs to everyone.
Ooh, hard cut. And then giant sea serpent eats our ship and we all die at the end. Or the shot's just gonna fade out. Okay. Oh, and we transition to one of the books in the intro. Okay. Oh, that's kind of nice. I actually forgot the framing device of the game starting on a book page. Oh, and then the game just blue screens. Wait. Oh, okay, I thought it actually crashed or something, because the word credits took just long enough to come up that I thought this blue screen was an error. And there's no sound. There's no background. It's such a weirdly plain background for the credits. Like, in fact, it could have just stopped on a still image of the book that had closed. Like, have the book close and then just cut from a video of that to just freeze frame on the book, and these credits could scroll in front of it. This completely plain blue gradient just looks unfinished. Well, anyway, that was Silver. It was decent. It was perfectly okay. It didn't blow my skirt up, but I also enjoyed it well enough. I didn't really have any huge problems with this game, other than I do hate the party AI, but it was pretty solid overall. Although unexceptional in every way. I don't think there was anything it did truly spectacularly well. There wasn't even like one element that was like, holy crap, that's good. It was across the board. It was just pretty decent. On a technical level, I'm impressed it all fit on one disc. When so many RPGs of the era were on like 3 or 4, or at the very least 2. A GD, the GD-ROM, the gigabyte disc that the Dreamcast uses, is bigger than a CD, but not by a shitload. So like a GD is still smaller than 3 or 4 CDs. So they did a pretty good job then of optimizing their assets to an efficient size, to fit them all on the disc. Especially because all the dialogue is voiced, has recorded voice acting as something even the Final Fantasies at the time that were on 3 or 4 discs did not have, and that recorded dialogue eats up a lot of space. The darker backgrounds do definitely show the limitations of the color depth, but that's really just a reality of the era that this game is from, so I can accept that. The real-time graphics are pretty simple, especially considering the hardware isn't having to render the whole environment. So you could spend like all of your processing power just rendering the character models, because you're not having to do the whole, backgrounds and the foliage and like everything, because that's all pre-rendered. So you'd expect the real-time stuff to be higher quality, given that it's rendering much less material overall than a game where everything is real-time. But they're nice enough. I mean, nothing's hideous. It does have the problem that the character models are more cartoonishly stylized than the backgrounds, because everyone's kind of short and cute. We have like, they're not quite like chibi, but they're short and stumpy, and they're sort of cutely rendered rather than totally realistic. Whereas the backgrounds are generally rendered pretty realistically. It's not horribly distractingly mismatched, but I would have liked to see the characters rendered more realistically, or the backgrounds sort of equally stylized. I've seen worse mismatch in games, but it's borderline nitpick because it didn't really bother me, but I'm pointing it out nonetheless. Probably the most disappointing element overall would be the sound design, which is not terribly surprising given the era, because in the year 2000, games generally still didn't sound very good. It was very common in the year 2000 for sound to be terrible in video games. But it's not amazing here. There's a lot of overused stock sounds that you can recognize from other places. The crunchy impacts in combat are fairly satisfying. Like, it's, when you're chopping through enemies and it's making all these crunchy, meaty impacts, it's fairly satisfying. And there's no Foley. Like, there are no footsteps while you move around. You don't hear your gear or your armor rattling. Compare this to Ocarina of Time, which is older. It's 1998, and running on much less powerful hardware and on a storage medium with vastly less space. And it has much more detailed sound, as footsteps sound different on every surface. They have reverb indoors, delay on larger indoor spaces. You can hear your gear rattling around as you run. It's not just footsteps. There's sort of a clanky, clattering of the metal you're carrying. Climbing has its own sounds. Every area has ambient sounds, and it's all mixed in surround sound. Also, I noticed, looking at because obviously I've recorded this in more than one session, and looking through the audio of my recordings, this game clearly runs at 22.05 kilohertz, which is not uncommon for the time, but is not very high quality. That's exactly half of CD, which is 44.1. But at 22.05, that gives you a Nyquist of 11.025, which is not that high. So the aliasing is low enough that it's actually pretty easily audible and pretty distracting. Ocarina of Time actually runs at 32K, which gives it a Nyquist of 16. So the aliasing in Ocarina of Time is enough higher up that it's not that distracting, because 16K is pretty close to full range by practical definition. So it's weird the sampling rate in this game is that much lower when, again, there's more space on the disc than on a cartridge, and it's much more powerful hardware. But I guess that's one of the ways they saved space, is making the audio 22.05K. I would be curious if the PC version has better sound. It probably does, just because the PC version probably came on multiple discs. It would be CDs, not GDs, but you could have it come on several of them and install to the hard drive and be a pretty big installation. So maybe the PC version runs it higher than 22.05K, but I would say I'm talking strictly about the sound design here. Like, the sound effects are pretty underwhelming, and especially towards the end, it seemed like there were many types of enemies in a row that made incredibly obnoxious, squealy, shrieky noises while you fought them. That was annoying. That didn't seem to be much of an issue early on, but yeah, the last couple areas, the enemy sounds were very annoying. The voice acting was pretty solid overall. Silver and Fuge were definitely giving it their all and sounded fantastic, but only a few characters sounded truly weird. There were a couple that I remember talked too slowly, but most of the voice cast managed to be at least passable. By 2000, the year this game was released, terrible voice acting was still not uncommon in games. It was better than the early days of CD-ROM, where voice acting was totally new to games and it was just unilaterally appalling. But it was still not surprising to hear some bad reads by 2000, so the game scores pretty well in that regard. I typically don't say much about narrative, since that's usually the part I'm the least interested in. That's just not my bag. I don't really have anything to add here aside from what I said early on, which is that I hate that the inciting incident is a woman being captured, where the whole thing is just a woman is a human MacGuffin that we have to go save. And I don't like that the game revolves around collecting magical stones, because both of those feel really tired for fantasy. Perfectly functional, but tired. In terms of gameplay, I'd say, again, perfectly decent. The only big issue with the gameplay is the party member AI is incredibly frustrating. They have very little initiative. They tend to stand in place until you've given them the first command, at which point they will then take over, or until they actually get hit by something, and then they go, oh, wait, we're in combat, and they suddenly start fighting, even though they were ignoring combat until they got hit. And even when they do attack, they attack far slower than you do as the player. As the player, you can just mash the button and hit really quickly, and they just sort of occasionally take a swing, so their overall damage output is unnecessarily low, and they barely try to avoid damage. They do a pretty good job of hopping out of the way of projectiles, like arrows or magic spells, but they really don't try that hard to avoid melee. It's weird, there's a disparity there, where they're pretty good at dodging ranged, but terrible at avoiding melee damage. They sort of just wade right into the melee combat without any attempt to self-preserve, and they just get their ass handed to you and blow through your healing items. It's annoying enough that I actually kind of want to play the game again, but with only one character, or possibly two. I think 2 would work pretty well. 3 is just enough of a clusterfuck that it's frustrating instead of fun, in terms of switching between them and trying to keep them all out of harm's way, and trying to remember which direction to press on the D-pad to switch to the one you want. With only 2 characters, that wouldn't matter, because either direction on the D-pad would just be the other character. And given that the party members don't attack that efficiently anyway, I don't think the reduced damage output of a smaller party would even make much of a difference. Yes, you'd be doing less damage, but not by a shit ton, because the vast majority of the damage comes from the player character anyway. But overall, it was decent. There weren't piles of glaring flaws, but it was entirely unexceptional across the board, which unfortunately is the simple reality of playing through less famous, less talked about games. Most of them are going to be middle of the road. Because if a game was fantastic, it's very unlikely to be lesser known. I mean, it's possible. There are some really great games that aren't actually that well known, but generally games that are famous for a reason, and games that aren't famous for a reason. And that's really what we have here. It's fun enough to run around and chop through enemies in the sloppy, messy, kind of hectic real-time combat, which I definitely prefer to turn-based. But it totally lacks an overall spark, or je ne sais quoi, that makes it truly special. It really is just a relatively solid fantasy game, which is pretty much all I expected from it, so I'm certainly not let down, but it also didn't turn out to be some sort of fantastic hidden gem. But I did enjoy it, to the point that I can see myself playing this again someday, probably again with either solo or with 2 characters, because I feel it would work much better that way. But I was hoping there would be at least one thing in it somewhere that really resonated with me, and I don't think I got that. I was hoping for like a thing in the game, like a gameplay mechanic or a visual or a piece of music that just like, oh, this is fantastic. It's sort of like how I didn't enjoy Quest 64 very much at all, but well into the game I discovered the music that plays in Barragoon more, and it's really good. I love that piece of music, and so that was like this really nice sort of sudden treat to discover when I had otherwise largely given up on the game. So it's always nice when you find that one thing where you go, oh damn, this is really good. And that didn't really happen here. It was just pretty solid. It's now been a year since I recorded this, so I decided to play it again, this time solo. Unfortunately, the game does not allow you to go it alone. You are forced to have at least one companion. So I played the whole game that way, and precisely as I expected, it is substantially less frustrating that way. It certainly doesn't make the companion any smarter, but it does reduce the amount of pointless faffery to a manageable level. It's just enough less equipment juggling, food scoffing, and maneuvering in boss fights that it feels like stuff to do rather than a stultifying chore. Having played the game before, and thus knowing where things are, I was able to do some stuff better the second time through. It is possible to get the longbow from the area past the rebel camp much earlier in the game than I originally did, and doing so makes Sukuni really overpowered for a little while, which, combined with knowing where to buy arrows, ended up making her surprisingly useful. But this does require spending huge amounts of gold on arrows. At more than a gold per shot, and more than one shot per enemy, it's a very expensive way to play the game. Of course, once I got Kagan, I just stuck with him because he is undeniably the best character in the game. He does tons of physical damage, good damage with spells while also having plenty of MP, and he even has a good ranged skill. Less than Sukuni, sure, but more than David, Vivian, and Jug, so he's just good at everything. He's also particularly suited to ranged because you can switch between ranged and melee by simply punching, since that's how he does full damage anyway, so you don't even have to swap the bow with a melee weapon like you would with Sukuni, which more than makes up for the slightly reduced damage he does versus Sukuni. Additionally, if you do things in the right order, you'll have ice magic when you encounter the fire boss in the burned forest, which makes that fight much faster instead of taking all day like it did with me waiting for the ice wand to recharge. There is a scene I missed in the boiler room. Imps come out of a door beneath the boiler, and for some reason I didn't try to go through the door, possibly because it's clearly too small, and indeed David's head has to clip through it in order to fit, but inside is Janitor, and the scene goes thusly.
Hello? Is there anybody there?
No. Go away, strange creature. No one be living here.
Don't worry. The imps have gone.
They were wanting to hurt the old janitor. Is that what you be wanting?
No, of course not. I just need you to start the boiler.
Can't. Too many bad creatures. They makes the janitor scared.
If I get rid of all the creatures, would you start it then?
Me would. You be nice to the old janitor. Would you like this? I find it out there. It's a key.
Thanks.
No pleasure. Anytime.
The key goes to a side room I also somehow missed where we can meet Bazooki earlier than at the Oracle, and he gives Frank a proper introduction.
Surely you wouldn't use your sword to puncture my innocent wee friend. You'd never hurt anyone, would you, Frink? He's an outcast, just like me. Abandoned. No longer able to call himself an imp.
The scene does have some very strange line reads, though.
What kind of stench-ridden excuse for a demon are you? You are foul.
I'm an alchemist. Bang, bang, bang. Oh, happy boom.
All we get for our trouble is a chaos potion, which I never found useful anyway, but you're not able to buy these from Bazooki until quite a while later. This also explains why I didn't recognize the character carrying the book to the boiler after defeating the Incubus, since I was supposed to have talked to him earlier. And if you have met Bazooki earlier doing this, the dialogue before the Oracle is slightly different. Duke doesn't bother to explain that he's an alchemist.
This must be important. Bazooki wouldn't waste our time.
Yes, we should hurry.
We should hurry. Frink's charm may be an acquired taste, but he's trustworthy. And Bazooki obviously needs us.
Who's Dr. Bazooki?
He's an alchemist.
This doesn't actually change anything significant, but it's nice that they recorded alternate sets of lines based on what you've done. In Rain, I ran into a bug where I left the screen at the exact moment that enemies spawned in, soft-locking the game since you're not allowed to leave the screen if enemies are present. I couldn't move, open the menu, or switch characters, so I just had to wait for the computer-controlled character to clear the screen, which he was doing for a while, until he decided to stand still for no reason like they always eventually do, at which point the game was officially locked and I had to reset it since I couldn't even open the pause menu to load a save, which I could do the other times the game soft-locked. This happened to me again in the final area. Sukuni easily could have dealt with the enemies, but she refused to throw the glaive because the AI instead decides to punch when enemies are close, even though it is possible to use a ranged weapon at point blank. So she got her ass kicked. Fucking genius. Also, you're not allowed to skip paying for the code to the bell. If you haven't paid Albert to learn it, even doing the right pattern won't open the door. This time I made sure to buy the silver for the werewolf. It's 50 gold and simply sits in your inventory, but it does indeed cause you to do more damage, indicated by the star icon showing a weakness. It did make the fight very quick, but I once again got the werewolf stuck in a corner, so I would have been fine without it. It then simply disappears from your inventory after the fight, not that you ever fight another. The green dragon fight went pretty much the same way. Still boring as fuck, still horribly long. You can grab the orb before the fight is over, but it doesn't make the fight go any faster since it's healing magic, not a weapon. I did eventually discover that throwing knives are inexplicably able to damage the dragon, even though arrows do 0 damage and throwing knives otherwise do less damage than arrows. The fight still takes forever because even with a full inventory of knives, it's nowhere near enough to kill the dragon, but it does reduce how much waiting for MP to regen that you have to do. And by the way, Jug doesn't have a pelvis. It's not very noticeable on screens where the camera is above, but in a side view you can clearly see right through him. The Swamp Boss is a very good example of how much easier the game is with one ally, especially since I didn't even really try to involve them. When David just stood there doing nothing, I went ahead and let him, focusing entirely on controlling Jug, and it made the boss exceedingly trivial. Since the companion damage output is so low anyway, you're better off just pretending they're not there and saving yourself the trouble of trying to move them around. And like a fucking idiot, I did the bug with the barman again because I was so used to playing as Kagan, so that bug is 100% repeatable, and I once again had to fight the blue dragon twice because I hadn't saved in a long time. The fight with Fuge broke completely. He just sat in the corner and let me wail on him with the invisibility ring equipped. In my original playthrough, he eventually blocked and dodged even when I was invisible once I got close enough. But this time he just accepted his fate. And since I got it the first time through Glass's Palace, I was able to check if the Amulet of Seeing makes the beholders visible, and indeed it does. This doesn't make a huge difference since there are only 3 that are invisible in the entire game, but it does make them much easier to deal with. The fight with the anonymous Cleavage Atronach went slightly differently. She didn't get fixated on the person in cover, so I did end up taking a lot more damage, but Lycanthrope still took out most of her health, and then I finished her off with Kagan under Time 2 magic. Also, who the fuck is she? For the final area, I decided to take Sukuni instead of Kagan to maximize the damage of the Glaive. This does mean I went without Kagan's superior spell casting, but the Glaive is so effective that I didn't need spells anyway. This hidden chest I somehow didn't notice the first time contains another diamond shield, so there are at least 2 in the game, although I ended up using neither because David had the dual swords and Sukuni had the Glaive. In the fight against Silver's Eldritch Disco Ball, the respawning robot thing is extremely weak to special attacks, most of which kill it in one hit, so you can just rotate through those to take it out rather than waiting for the Glaive to whittle it down, giving you much faster access to magic orbs, making the whole ordeal feel less drawn out. It's still bizarrely easy and uneventful for a climactic battle, but at least it didn't take as long. And in the fight with Apocalypse, you can deflect his fireballs with your shield throughout the fight, not just for the final blow. You can only do it once per cycle, and it does very little damage, but it's technically better than nothing. So, all in all, it went much better this time. But make no mistake, all of the problems with the companion AI remain. Having only 1 instead of 2 doesn't fix the problems, but it lessens the amount of herding cats that you have to do, which has a very real impact on the enjoyability of the game. Obviously, a much better solution would be for the companions to be actually useful instead of utterly brain-dead and drooling all over themselves, but since we can't have that, this is a viable workaround. I think the ideal solution, though, would be to make the game 2-player, on a shared screen, not a split screen. Not only would this completely solve the companion AI, but I think this game would be extremely fun that way regardless. Since it ultimately plays like a beat-em-up hack-and-slash sort of thing, it would be a bit like Castle Crashers, which is fantastic in co-op. For that matter, why not more than 2 players? The Dreamcast has 4 controller ports, so with the right group of friends, that could be a blast. It does seem like a huge missed opportunity not to have that option. But either way, although the game is much less frustrating with a party of 2, this doesn't change my overall takeaway from the game. All my complaints still stand, even if some are mitigated, and all the things I liked still stand. It's a nice-looking, reasonably satisfying game that excels at nothing but is fun enough to be worth it and doesn't overstay its welcome. Even having now played this a second time, I can still see myself playing it again someday. It's a simple pleasure and not very long, which is exactly the kind of thing that's fun to dust off on the proverbial rainy day where there's nothing better to do. That might sound like faint praise, and to some extent it is, but everything has its place. They can't all be mind-blowing.